Hello, and welcome to the game of a lifetime. This game, you will earn absolutely nothing, but this will test your skills of betraying and deception. Let me go over the rules, but first, this is a game in Roblox called The Snakes, and there will be 20 of my friends, possibly less, playing against each other. We will not know everyone's roles, and they will not know mine because I will also be playing. Now let me go show you the rules. When you start the game, you get handed an envelope. When you open the envelope, it will tell you either guest or snake. The guests are basically civilians. They are doing tasks, that is their main goal, and their main goal is to find the snakes and banish them. However, the snakes are trying to murder the guests and will meet up every night to murder them and try to stay undetected. How you find out who gets murdered is at breakfast. Every morning there's a breakfast, and the murdered player will not walk in that day. You will also be notified if anyone has a shield. However, after breakfast, there is missions. Basically, in that mission, you have to do tasks. Possibly, there is not a mission, and by I mean possibly, it's a different mission than tasks. But that is very rare. So, during the tasks mission, the players have 5 minutes to complete the tasks. If they have completed all of the tasks, then that means that they get to learn information about the snakes. However, if they fail to complete the tasks, nothing happens, and the snakes stay undetected. However, throughout the castle are buttons that the snakes can press to reduce the timer. And they need to be sure not to be caught, because guests cannot press that button. Only snakes can. If a snake pressed that button, 30 seconds will be off of the clock for them. Snakes can also do tasks if they want to. Sabotages. So, also, snakes have the ability to have sabotages. So, for example, outside there's a pool. And in one of the missions in the pool is that you're supposed to get multiple people in there. If the snakes sabotage the outside, and if everyone jumps in the pool, that will not count, because the snakes have sabotaged, and you need to wait for the sabotage to run out in order to do that task, which makes that task unplayable. There are also switches around the castle that you can press in order to stop that sabotage that is currently happening. However, to combat the snakes are shields. Again, snakes can also grab the shields, but what a shield does is that they can protect you from murder that night. And if you grab a box and if it has a shield in it, you are protected from murder. And if the snakes try to murder you, you are not murdered. However, if you grab a box and there's no shield inside, you can still be murdered for that night. However, if every single snake gets banished except for one, the snake can recruit and make a guest join their side. However, if the guest has a shield that they ask, the guest can say be murdered, but won't actually be murdered. However, at the end game, if there is 5 or less people, they will go to the Ring of Truth, which is what I call it, which is the end game. They have the option to end the game or banish another player. If you pick end the game, you believe that there are 0 snakes left. If you click banish another player, you believe that there is a snake or more left. However, here's the tricky part. If everyone clicks to end, but one person clicks to banish another player, everyone votes again. We will not leave until when a player is banished. However, if everyone clicks end, the game is over. If there is one snake left, the snakes win the game. If there's 0 snakes left, the guests win the game. They can continue to banish another player until when there are 2 players left in the game. Then those 2 players win if they are all guests, or if there are all snakes. If any point in the game that there are more snakes, the snakes immediately win. However, there's this one thing I forgot to mention. There's also round tables, or like how I like to call them, the banishment table. The banishment table is where you all discuss your evidence, and you pick one player to banish. And then they have to reveal their role when they get banished. No one is safe from banishment. That is all the rules to this game. The game will probably start on Saturday, possibly earlier, possibly later. We just have to wait. Well, players, good luck. You're gonna need it.